Jessica Smith? Jessica Smith is a recent graduate from Northwestern University's biomedical engineering program. So she went from being an intern to a full-time employee after graduation and still lives in Chicago, Illinois. So while at Northwestern, she was a Big Ten, big fan of Big Ten sports, especially Northwestern sports programs, especially during their run to the Big Ten football title game a few years back. So she's in the process of looking into a checking and debit account. So let's walk through Jessica's story. Can everybody see my screen, or do I need to reshare it? Pandian or Sabha, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we are good, Manish. I think everyone is able to see.
Okay, perfect, awesome. So, let's start with Jessica Smith's journey, right? So Jessica Smith did a Google search and she landed on Finance Bank website. So Finance Bank is a local branch in, local retail bank in Chicago that offers, not only personal financial things like savings accounts, bank accounts, checking accounts, and credit cards and of that sort, but also other services like financial services that are applied for mortgages, loans, things like insurance, etc. So let's talk a little bit more about Finance Bank. So as Jessica Smith comes onto the website, she starts looking at information about her services and, about why choosing us, their team, and just really, getting to know a little bit more about Finance Bank. And while she's looking at that information, let's take a step back and look at it from Finance Bank's perspective, right? So in Finance Bank's perspective, we don't know who Jessica Smith is at this moment. She just came onto our website. So at this point, she's an anonymous visitor that's coming on. So at this point in the Adobe Experience Platform, we're assigning her an ID, right? An ID that's coming in. So we can now start seeing exactly where she goes, where she lands on the page, and start really understanding who that is. This way, we can start dictating the customer journey that we want to provide her. So in that case, right, what we have here is, let's say, for example, we have we're using Adobe Analytics. So Finance Bank is using Adobe Analytics for their, tracking of their web analytics and also understanding the customer when they land on either on their mobile device, in their mobile apps, or on their website as well. In this case, we now know that she's coming in from a desktop, so we can, we can deliver the experience on the desktop, right? We can also provide her, we know that she's on the home page. We don't have much of a browsing history right now at this moment. We're gonna still see and use Adobe Analytics to help us understand what Jessica Smith is doing at the moment. While we're going through that, we're gonna also leverage Adobe Target, right? Adobe Target is your test and target. Basically, it's a personalization engine within the Adobe Experience Platform and cloud, right? What it's doing, it's really helping you deliver and drive the experience based on what you know about that customer. It's really, once again, better understanding your customer so you can personalize the experience. And in this moment, we now know that she's in Chicago, Illinois. That's why we're able to update the nearest location of the branch. We also know that we don't have much information on her, so we're going to give her the generic experience for now. And once again, we're going to let Jessica Smith drive that overall experience over time. So now Jessica Smith goes onto the website and decides, okay, you know what, I'm going to go and look at some credit cards. So she's going to go into credit cards and start looking at some credit card options. And while she's looking at credit card options, let me go into going back to what Finance Bank is seeing, right, from their perspective. And at Finance Bank here, as you can see here, in Adobe Analytics, the current page is cards and payment. And what we're doing is we're sharing that data with Audience Manager. And Adobe Audience Manager is your data management platform, which sources in your first, second, and third-party data that you're utilizing. at Finance Bank. So audience manager is then able to take that data and then segment across that. So based on that, we now understand, based on her coming onto this website, we now know that she has an interest in cards and payments, right? And credit cards in general. So let's let Jessica still keep driving it. And while she's looking at the website, she is intrigued with this Wildcats debit MasterCard. So she goes into this, and being a big Northwestern Wildcat fan, this really sits well with her, right? So she's looking at this at this page, still kind of considering and interested in that. And while she's doing that, let's look at what Finance Bank is doing again, right? So in Audience Manager, we're now able to see that she's now has an interest in the Wildcats debit card because she went on that page. But now, based on that, what we're able to do is now create a segment in there, and she qualifies for the segment inside of Audience Manager for Northwestern Wildcats. And because there's a second party audience sharing component to this, Finance Bank is working with media companies in the greater Chicago area to be able to share this segment with these media companies. So let's say, for example, they can deliver a more personalized experience and hopefully bring her back if she ever decides to leave the webpage or website. But at this moment, we've now started to capture and really understand what's going on. Now, also Finance Bank is using Adobe Experience Manager as well to help them organize and sort and tag all of their assets on their page, right? So they're using tagging workflow processes to really manage it across their website, and they're using it as more of that full-scale content management solution. So in this case, Jessica Smith is able to see this Northwestern Wildcat asset, and this is what is being shown as being shared and tagged and organized as part of on this page. Now, Jessica Smith decides, okay, I've done enough of my research for now, and I get it, and she gets a text message is like, hey, are you ready for the Big Ten season kicking off in a couple of weeks? They're gonna actually play with COVID-19, so she gets excited, and what she does is she decides to go onto the into the Chicago Sun-Times college sports page, right? So at this moment, she decides that she's going to go ahead and go to the Sun-Times college sports page. So as we have realized that, we're sharing now the audience from the, Finance Bank is sharing that segment with the Chicago Sun-Times, who's Jessica Smith's favorite, newspaper to get some of that college sports information. As she's looking up some information on what's happening in college sports, she sees an ad for Finance Bank come up. And as she's looking through this, she sees that she gets 5% cash back when you dine out in Chicago. So Jessica Smith actually is a big diner. She likes to go out to eat. She lives in the city. So because of that, she gets that 5% cash back. And she's really enticed with this offer now. So she decides she goes to the Finance Bank page. And now as she comes back to the Finance Bank page, the experience is now being personalized for her in terms of the home page, right? So now the first front and center for Jessica Smith is apply for Northwestern debit card. And at this case, let's look at what is going on with the Finance Bank side of this, right? So as we look at this, we were already using a segment inside of Audience Manager where we're using Northwestern Wildcat segment, and that is actually being now shared with with Adobe Target. But before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit more about, she just came off the Chicago Sun-Times based off an ad. So because of that partnership there with the Chicago Sun-Times and Finance Bank, we're able to now know that she's an avid reader or likes to read the Chicago Sun-Times. So this not only helps us out with the advertising efforts going forward, but not only that, but it also helps us adjust maybe some promotions at Finance Bank, like providing her free subscriptions to the Chicago Sun-Times and their newspapers or their newsletters or any of their magazines that they might have or offer, et cetera, as part of their being a member of that Finance Bank. So we can now start really better understanding Jessica Smith. Now going into this, what we've done is we've now shared that segment with Adobe Target, and we're now able to deliver that experience directly on this page here. So now instead of that generic experience that we saw when she first came onto the website, we now have a more personalized experience that is focused on something that is more relatable and emotional and connecting with her. And in this case, she decides, okay, I'm going to go into apply now. And in the apply now part of it, she decides, she goes, okay, I'm now going to apply to the card. You know, she decides she's going to go and apply, and then she's going to log in, authenticate, go through the application process, and then eventually get her debit card. Now, get her debit card. Now, what's happening now is Jessica Smith goes from an anonymous state to a known state. So now we've assigned her a CRM ID. So Finance Bank is using a CRM solution for their call centers, for their applications, for their customers, right? And in that CRM, now we're able to associate her because of the known information that she's shared with us, and she's now a customer. And in that case, we've also, leveraged the another solution in the Adobe Experience Platform and Cloud called Adobe Campaign, which is our cross-channel campaign management solution where you can message across email, mobile, SMS, push notifications, also in-app messaging as well. And in that case, we've integrated the CRM with Adobe Campaign to be able to now, get her be involved in the new list for new customers. So we can now start giving her known communications about her account, about things that she could do with her account, and new offers inside of her email or across her SMS message based on her preferences. Not only that, but we've also applied subscriptions to it too. So she could be subscribed to a product newsletter or product update where we can give her more information on what's going on with the bank, and especially in times of COVID-19, what are the branch hours? Like, what is it that she could do to, engage or work with someone from a financial services perspective? So we're now starting to really connect that anonymous state to a known state by bridging those two together. Now, while Jessica Smith is logged in, I'm going to now dive in to our back into our presentation here. As you could see, and as you can see in this journey here, what's happening is that so far in this journey, we've have a unknown state, right? We've seen the interest in debit card. We've seen her go to Chicago Sun-Times sports site. We've gone to Returns to Financial Bank site, and then she actually applies for a debit card. Right now, she's a known customer. Let's fast forward 1 year into her journey. We've been constantly engaging with her. She's a known journey. She goes onto the website. She authenticates herself. She gets, she gets more personalized experiences across email and her SMS messages as well. And she becomes a loyal member. Now, Jessica Smith has just recently, gotten promoted in her position, and she's now has to go to an office that is in the suburbs of Chicago. So she now needs a new car. So in that case, Jessica Smith comes back to Finance Bank's website as a known user, and she starts browsing around and interested in looking at some other information on auto loans. So as she's looking through the auto loan piece, she decides she's going to go into auto loans and really look at what the offer is and what the rate looks like with Finance Bank. So in this case, what we're doing in Audience Manager, we've now taken that's in the authenticated state, so she's a known customer and she's logged in. We've now put her into the segment of auto prospect. So now Jessica Smith is curious because this is a big investment, so she wants to do her research. So she decides that she wants to go to bankrate.com. And in this case, going to bankrate.com is going to help her, really understand if she's getting the best interest rates there are right now at this moment. So while she's on bankrate.com, she's seeing that, okay, she is getting the best auto loan rates at this time. And while she's doing that, she gets an email notification, as you heard that chime, and then that email notification is letting her know that, buy your new vehicle today. So what's happening is now we personalized the experience, we've triggered the experience, right? We've abandoned the page, she left off of it. We already know that she was on it at one point based on the information that we have in Adobe Analytics and Adobe Campaign. And we're now able to send her a triggered email to come back to the website so that she can now apply now. So she's going to go back to the website, and going back to the website is going to help her, with continuing on her known journey. And then she decides that now at this point, because she got that email because she was part of a campaign, right? So we've associated her into that auto prospects segment as part of that campaign. And now she's going to go ahead and apply for the auto loan. So let's go back to the slide and let's recap this presentation. We basically took Jessica Smith's journey. She became a customer, basically knowing very little information about her. We personalized her experience. She eventually became a customer, then a loyal customer. And now she's an auto loans customer, and we were able to upsell an auto loans opportunity to her as well. So, let's going back to this overall presentation, we really have created an overall experience for Jessica Smith to where now we've really personalized and we understand who she is. And this is what a lot of the retail banks should be going in that type of direction.